Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah.
Ruh-roh, that was a long pause.
I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
That should have told us everything.
But I think I would.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism is the way that I put it.
Release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out. There were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Again, now it's time for accountability. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I ended up getting about 120 pages. We carefully redacted them, of course, to be sure the 254 young girls, women who are victims of sex crimes and sex trafficking, their personal information was redacted and out of there to protect them. So I'm going through it and I kept saying, there has to be more, there has to be more. I'm assured that's it. Cash asked the same questions. Assured there's no more. I found out, this week that a source told me New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents regarding Epstein. Thousands. We will get everything. We will have it in our possession. That the American people have a right to know. And Donald Trump is the most transparent president in our nation's history.
Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure. If I
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Yup, and they ain't letting it go.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. 200 victims. 200, over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected. What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. It's pretty sick what that man did.
Recall this all started after President Trump first told our own Rachel Campos Duffy that he was open to releasing some information.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would.
Senator, you said you're going to release what you know. What can you tell us?
Yes, indeed, and I've been so pleased that AG Bondi and Director Patel have worked with me on this. And Maria, this is going to be a phase 1 release in short order. I will have the hard copy in my hand. AG Bondi is responsible for what will be the public release on this.
I see.
She has worked diligently on this, and we can begin to break apart what became a global human trafficking, sex trafficking ring, about $150 billion a year business. It is time to get some justice for these victims, for these women and children.
So somehow, not only did Maxwell and Epstein run a $150 billion a year trafficking organization, but they did so by themselves. No one else was involved.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been...
Okay.
So...
Any dates?
No, you know what it is? There are tons and thousands videos, and it's all with little kids, so they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence in the Epstein case, but they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote, little kids.
Be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now.
So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network, on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things.
So much for accountability.
Are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Secretary, were you ever made aware at any point in your handling of this case if Mr. Epstein was an intelligence asset of some sort?
So there has been reporting to that effect.
But does the Jeffrey Epstein case go much deeper than just that? This is from Substack, Technofog Substack. He asked a serious question. Apparently, Rolling Stone had reported about Epstein's dealings in the arms world in the 1980s, which led him to work for multiple governments, including the Israelis. Ward sources said that Epstein was, quote, known in the intelligence world as a hyperfixer, someone who can go between different cultures and networks.
Says, you know, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that. That he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset, meaning his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know. But this person, who's a very, very good reporter, I mean, aces, right? Swore Epstein was either a witting or unwitting intelligence asset, and they may have had his plane wired up, and they're the ones who have all this stuff. So the point is, to sum it up, how do you know some of these countries aren't going to some of these power players who aren't making decisions because, hey, you wouldn't want this video out there, right?
You know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file.
Now, to be fair to Dan, it did just come out that there was a feud between him and Bondi all over how she handled this. And there was supposedly an ultimatum. It's either her or him. Per usual, we'll just have to wait and see because we can't confirm any of this. It's all from an anonymous source. So I guess we'll see what happens. This whole debacle has been one huge joke.